All right. So, as you all know, this is going to be an introduction about Theta Healing. So I am a Theta Healing master, and I will take you through what Theta Healing entails and what kind of healing modality that is, and how you can utilize it to create what you want or to manifest what you want. And at the end, I will also give you a meditation. So to start with is Theta Healing is all about you creating your own reality. And what I mean with that is like everything that you are seeing in your life. So think about, have you guys ever seen this wheel of life? You know, back in the day, you saw the wheel of life, and then there was the part for relationships and love. There was the part for finance, you know, and money. There's the part for, you know, like, let's see, health, purpose, work. So kind of like your life, that circle is your life, and it has like different aspects to that, right? So we call that your reality. And now you might be saying like, okay, Handan, my reality, maybe in love, I'm actually quite happy, or in health, I'm quite happy, but in my work, I'm not so very happy. Or in terms of money, I feel like I could be earning a lot more money, but for some reason, I'm never attracting it, or I'm working really hard for it, just doesn't happen. I only just always have enough to get by, right? So whatever that experience you're having, that means that is your reality. And that reality, I know we tend to, previously in the older paradigms, we tend to blame outside circumstances. We're saying, oh, it's the industry. Oh, it's because I don't have this degree, or it's because of this, or it's because of that, or it's, you know, like everything, when you give everything outside of you the blame for your reality, you are kind of like giving your power away to those people and those situations. So what we are doing with Theta Healing is we're taking all the power back. And we're saying, why am I creating that? Why am I always attracting this type of partner or this type of relationship in my life? You know, why am I always attracting, you know, maybe bosses or employers that are abusive? Have any of you worked with an abusive employer? I was one of them. I always had like abusive employers. And at some point I was like, you know, I had friends that had like really lovely employers that were very loving and kind and supportive. And I was attracting all the abusive ones and the toxic ones. So what is happening is, so that's the reality. So we're saying, okay, why is this person experiencing a reality with a toxic partner, or a toxic, say, a boss, or, you know, whatever it is, and another person is not? So what it all comes down to is we're looking at a person from an energetic perspective. So you are creating your reality based on your belief systems, based on the vibration that you're sending out. So what is a belief system? A belief system is something that you have accepted as truth. Okay, so at some point in your life, and generally it's between the ages like 0 to 6, 0 to 7, everything that we were hearing and everything that we were seeing kind of like got programmed into us, and it became a belief system, it became a program. And then the rest of our lives, we start functioning from that program. So if you saw your parents fighting all the time, then your program or belief system about love becomes that love is conflict, right? That love is abuse. So then later on you grow up and you create relationships, or you attract relationships, and the type of relationship where you have the greatest chemistry might be the one that validates the exact old experience where love is conflict and love is abuse. So then the question arises, you know, can we change our life by changing the belief system? And yes, we can. So if you want to change anything outside of you, if it's in regards to your love life, if it's in regards to your abundance, your money issues, you know, your reality around money, you know, you always feel like maybe that you don't have enough. If that is your reality, you always don't have enough, or you're always short, and you've always had this, or there's patterns in your life where this keeps repeating, this then comes down to your belief systems about money and generally about your worthiness. So when we shift the belief system at a deep subconscious level, then as a result, you start attracting a different reality to yourself. And I'm not just talking about a magical attracting, because manifesting is one thing, but that's generally the last stage. The last stage of the healing process is manifesting. But there are different layers before manifesting happens. And with manifesting, you might already be familiar with this concept, is that your vibration has shifted to the extent that there is no other way than that reality to come and match you. So when your vibration is one of pure abundance, you are so feeling abundance and you are constantly living in abundance, then the reality that matches you is one of abundance. However, for example, if you have a belief system that there is never enough of money and the end is abundance, then what you keep attracting and creating is a reality of never having enough money. So when we shift that to a belief system that there is plenty and that you're deserving of plenty, and whatever the belief system is that is blocking a greater abundance coming to you, then there are stages through the healing process that allows your vibration to change. And within that process, you start making also different kind of choices. You see, because the earlier belief system where you have, there is never enough of money, or maybe a belief system you have that says that money can only come from one source. That means all of your decisions will align with that belief system. So it keeps creating a reality where you always don't have enough money. But imagine we do a session and then we reprogram that belief system to there is plenty. What happens the next day or the days after? Your mind, the subconscious mind, is super creative and resourceful. It starts finding solutions on how to make more money, or how to make different decisions to line up other opportunities so that your income can increase. So maybe now you will have the courage to ask for a promotion. Maybe now you will be like, hang on, I actually do have another skill in nutrition, or I have another skill in this. I can start charging for that. You know, I have another skill in massage, or, you know, someone was saying they can cut hair, whatever. So now they're starting to monetize another skill that they have. So their income started increasing. And then later on, as they're starting to feel more abundant, now they're starting to get invitations to interviews, headhunters start sending them messages on LinkedIn. It's like the reality of a higher income starts matching you. So that's what I mean, is whatever changes you want to create outside of yourself. I know often we thought we have to change the people and the situations outside of ourselves. But with Theta Healing, we go the opposite way. We're saying, I change it here, and then my environment and circumstances and even the people around me start changing. Do you know how many times that I've given a basic Theta Healing course, and even when I took it as a student, afterwards, certain people started leaving my life. And even I've seen it in my students. It's one of the first things they say. Handan, some of the people started leaving my life, but I'm kind of glad that they did, because I realized these were all the toxic people. So people start leaving your life because your consciousness is shifting, your belief systems are shifting, and as a result, the people that are kind of like connecting with the old you, they might start actually separating in two different directions, but without the drama, without the fights or the conflicts. It becomes just a natural way of separating, because now the universe is going to align you with people that are a better match to you, with opportunities that are a better match to you. And I'm talking about abundance doesn't just only mean in money, by the way. Abundance can be in love, abundance can be in health. Abundance is a general sensation of having plenty, right? So that's one area. But for example, if you have, you know, we were talking about the wheel of life earlier, right? So there is career, purpose, finance, health. Maybe your issue is in a health area. Maybe you're always putting on weight, or you're struggling to lose weight. So that is a pattern again. That means what is going on at a deeper subconscious level that's making you hold on to this weight, right? So the next thing is maybe the issue is, you know, say purpose. Maybe you're unhappy at work. So a lot of people think that work is just something you do to make ends meet. If that is your belief system, then that is the reality you will always keep creating. And then it might not even matter to you so much whether you're enjoying it or not, because you keep telling yourself, but nobody enjoys their work. Everybody hates their work. You know, it's just something you do to pay, you know, the rent, to look after the kids, whatever. But maybe it's time you challenge that belief system. Is that really how you want to live your life? Do you really want to spend 8 to 10 hours or maybe even more a day working at a job that is not lighting you up? That you know deep down is actually really not in alignment, maybe with your values or who you are or what you came here to do on earth. So in that case, the issue from that wheel of life perspective would be in the area of purpose. So now we have to align your purpose maybe with something that is going to make an income. And a lot of people can struggle in this area because their conditioning, belief systems that they have been programmed with when they were young is you study, you get your degree, and then you get a job, and it doesn't matter what a job is, as long as the title looks good, the money is good, and this is good, and this is good, you do it, and you say thank you. But you already know deep down whether that job is bringing you fulfillment or whether you're just living a life like a robot every day doing the same thing, but really it's not really the truth of who you are. However, if it is the truth of who you are, it's amazing. Then congratulations, you are one of the very few people that is really happy doing something that they like. But if you're not, then this is an opportunity to kind of like challenge these belief systems and ask yourself, why am I not doing something that I like? And a lot of the questions, the answer, a lot of people's answer to that is, I don't know what I like. I don't know what I'm passionate about. I don't know what my purpose is. And don't you think that's problematic? Like that is not something to worry about. It's like, how can you not know what your passion is, what your purpose is, and what makes you tick? You've had so many years on this planet. Why have you not discovered that? Why have you not gone on an exploration journey to find that out about yourself? Which belief systems do you have that constantly push you into a mundane, a robotic lifestyle routine every day doing the same, rather than making the choice to actually going on a self-discovery and finding out who you are and why you're here on earth, what you came here to do and what your purpose is. So my awakening started happening throughout my Theta Healing courses, because during these courses, you start asking all these questions to yourself, and it gives you the space to reflect and to contemplate and to find these belief systems that are blocking you from finding your passion, finding your purpose, and then eventually aligning your purpose with a source of income, right? Because that's what we ideally want, that we do something that we're passionate about and create our abundance through it. And it's possible. It is possible. I've seen so many people do it. The only block we have is within us. So how does that block, like how does that happen? So, you know, I already explained to you that a lot of our belief systems are programmed between the ages, 2 to 6, 0 to 6, like early childhood. And we are constantly learning new belief systems. But the thing is, after the age of 12, your brainwave starts to shift to a beta brainwave, which means you start having more discernment, you become more critical about the information that comes in. So then you get better at this discarding belief system. So if someone does something that you don't like, you're like, nah, that might be truth for you, but it's not truth for me. However, when we are young, we don't have this ability to discern. So everything that we are seeing and observing, we kind of like a sponge, we absorb it. So, and that then becomes kind of like your coding and your programming for the rest of your life, because you start functioning and you keep functioning from that place. But in order to shift a belief system, there is something that we need to do. Because if you have noticed, a lot of people, and you might have already noticed within yourself, you generally already know what patterns you have that are not working out for you. You might already be like, you know what, I'm always procrastinating. I know I'm procrastinating, but I don't know why I do it, and I don't know how to change it. So that's a major block, right? Perfectionism can be a major block. You never feel like whatever you're doing is enough, you know, or you always have a pattern that you feel not appreciated. Or maybe you have a pattern, whichever relationship you're in, you always feel like you're not being loved. Or maybe you always have a pattern of being cheated on. Whichever partner you're with is always cheating on you. Maybe you have a pattern that you're the cheater, you know, or maybe you have a pattern that, pattern is something that keeps repeating at different intervals in your life. If something keeps repeating, it's a pattern. That's you. That is you. There is a vibration that keeps attracting it, or that you keep making that choice. Yeah. So, and there's a reason why you make that choice. A lot of these choices could be impulsive. And if it's impulsive, it comes from the unconscious, you know? So that's definitely has to do with the traumas you've experienced in life and the imprints that you have at an energetic level. So that all plays a role. And the belief systems are actually vibration as well. So they attract the people and the situations to you. So how can we change a belief system, right? Because I'm saying it's so ingrained in you. What do we need to do to actually reprogram that? And is it possible to reprogram a belief system? And it most definitely is. We can change anything. So that's good news. But it takes a little bit of practice, and it takes a little bit of dedication. So as as I told you how the belief systems are mostly absorbed between the ages 0 to 6, 7. The reason for that is you're mainly in a theta brainwave. Well, actually between the ages 0 to 2, you're mainly in a delta brainwave because you're sleeping most of the time. And from the age of 2 until 6, 7, you're mainly in a theta brainwave. What is particular about a theta brainwave is that it is a super creative brainwave, but it's the brainwave of when you're in like a dream-like state. So when you go into hypnosis, when you go into like a trance state, but you know, like when you're waking up, so you've been sleeping all night and you're about to wake up, and you're waking up, you still remember your dreams. Like you might still see like the images from your dreams, but you're coming into the waking state. That's the theta brainwave. The waking state would be the beta brainwave. Right now, we are in a beta brainwave. Anytime we're talking, reading, and having a conscious exchange, it's a beta brainwave. Unless you can also have exchanges during theta, you can actually practice that also. So the theta brainwave acts as a gateway into the subconscious mind. So during a theta healing session, we actually start digging by asking questions, and we go through that gateway, you know, that doorway into the subconscious, and then we start finding where that belief system is, what the belief system is, and when it started. When were those seeds implanted into your psyche? So in most of our sessions, you will actually go into a memory when you were 2 years old, 3 years old, sometimes 8 months old. You have to understand that everything that we have experienced is within us. It's actually, we have a memory of it. We're programmed with it. We are carrying it. We're just not conscious of it. So during a session, we go to that time when the seeds were planted, we find the belief system, we do the reprogramming there. And during the reprogramming and shifting of the belief system, sometimes we might have to do emotional processing as well, because in order for, when you accepted the belief system at a specific age, sometimes it goes hand in hand with repressing emotions that happen in that situation, because especially if there was fear, if there was a lot of anger, if you were frightened, if you were scared, if you were feeling helpless, overwhelmed. So because you're so young and you don't know how to process it, the psyche is so smart that it can actually suppress the emotion so that you can survive. And I know a lot of people say, but Handan, I haven't had many traumas in my life. My life was really good. My childhood was really good. So there are different types of trauma. So there is the big trauma. We call that, the big capital T trauma. So those are cases of, accidents, abuse, sexual abuse, So those are big, large capital T trauma. But there is the small cap trauma as well. So that's anytime you actually felt overwhelmed, anytime you felt unsafe, super stressed in a situation, it was just overwhelming for you to process that instance. So for a little kid, if you made a drawing, you gave it to your mom as a gift, and the next day you look in the rubbish bin and you see your drawing in the rubbish bin, for a child, that's still processed as trauma. Not all kids, but depends, because you can't say this event is trauma. Trauma has actually very little to do with the event. It has more to do with how an event is processed. So for one child, finding their drawing the next day in the rubbish bin might feel traumatic, whereas for another child, be like, meh, you know, so it depends, right? But still, those type of experiences still count as, can have created an impact that you might have suppressed. And during a healing session, a theta healing session, we actually process that. And the benefit of it is, imagine if all this, if emotion is energy, and all of this repressed emotions over the years, repressed, where are they repressing? It's still within your own body, within your own psyche. Actually, I'm a firm believer that this is the energy that creates cancer, and that this is the energy that creates diseases and autoimmune disorders, chronic disorders. You know, when we talk about when we talk about chronic diseases, as you know, it's like 90% of diseases are actually psychosomatic, which means the cause is mental, emotional, and that's a stressor. But stress is not just when you are at work and you feel overwhelmed with work. Stress is also the emotional stuff you're experiencing at home, and your ability or inability to process certain emotions and anxieties. And if all of these feelings are being repressed, obviously it's going somewhere, and then it can create some kind of illness or disease in the body, but also in the psyche, also in the mind. During a theta healing session, you get the chance to actually reprogram belief systems, to process emotions. And then because you've shifted the belief system, now you can attract and create a different reality. I'm actually starting to get some questions. Before I look into the questions, I also would like to say that's one area of theta healing. There's another area of theta healing where we cut energetic cords. You know, like if you've had a relationship with someone and you keep thinking about that person and it can't seem to separate that connection, it is quite possible that you're still energetically connected to that person. So we might have to do a healing there. So cutting cords, you learn in the basic course, you learn how to do the soul fragment exchange. Soul fragments is when we've had like an intense encounter, an emotional encounter with another person. It can even be like in a relationship, you've invested a lot of yourself emotionally. It's you kind of like you leave some of your life force with them. And this is one of the reasons why sometimes people, they enter their 30s or 40s and then they say, Handan, I feel like half the person I used to be, you know? So that happens as well. And then we teach you how to do an energy soul fragment exchange. So take back the soul fragments that belong to you from others and give back to them what belongs to them, so that we can create a proper separation, but so that we can also start bringing you more into a sensation of wholeness. I'm getting a question. Srimanti, of course, yes. To be to any instructor of Theta Healing can only be trained by Vayana. Vayana is, so practitioners get trained by trainers like me, who are Theta Healing instructors. But if you're a Theta Healing instructor, you get trained by Vayana. Yes, I've been trained by Vayana. And there's another aspect to Theta Healing, which is the energy healing part. And so in Theta Healing, we connect to a source energy, which is an energy of unconditional love. And it is through this energy that we can actually witness energy going into the body of a person to repair or to heal what needs healing in their body. So in that way, that's another part of Theta Healing. This we generally use for physical ailments. And my mom, I always tell the story of how my mom had an eye surgery, and there was an accident. It was supposed to be a simple surgery for glaucoma, they actually had an accident during the surgery. She lost her eyesight, and when they came back, the doctor said, "We are so sorry you lost your eyesight. We don't know if it's ever going to come back, but if it does, it's going to take a really long time." So my mom couldn't see from one eye. And then I had just finished my advanced course, I think. So we have basic, you have advanced. There are multiple courses within Theta Healing. I finished the advanced course. And I said to my mom, "Mom, can I send you healing?" And it's a distant healing because my mom is in Holland, I'm here. And my mom said, "Well, I got nothing to lose anyway, so send away." And I sat in my meditation, the way we send healing, we connect to a source energy. I connected to that. Then you have to do the witnessing. I did the technique just like I learned during my Theta Healing basic and advanced course. And I sent her the healing. And then I totally forgot about it. Then the next day my mom was calling me. I missed her phone calls, forgot to call her back. The day after she called again. And then I was like, "Oh, Mom, so sorry. Like, you've been trying to, reach me." And I said, "What's going on?" And she said, "Remember the healing that you sent me?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's like, that night I woke up at 3 a.m. to get some water. And as I was walking into the kitchen, I didn't just see, I saw everything with Nur. And in our language, Nur means light. So her eyesight returned and she saw everything radiating in light. So, and then I was even surprised. I was like, what? It actually worked? Like my mind couldn't understand. Hang on, how is it possible that little me, or how I saw myself as insignificant or little me, can send healing to someone or to my mom in another country, and she gets her eyesight back? And that was so shocking. It was so surprising. I ended up crying, and it started challenging all of my belief systems about my own worthiness, because I thought only special people can do that. So obviously I thought I wasn't special enough. But later on, when I started doing a lot of healing work, you start realizing that we are all special. And there is not one person more special than another person. We all have the same connection to source. We might have just forgotten how to call upon source, or how to call upon that energy, or to that divine energy to support us in our lives, or to help us with the healing. I actually believe many people are healers without knowing they're healers. And as I'm saying, it's not, we are actually not the healers. That's just to get really technical. Creator, God, the divine is the healer. We're just a facilitator. Yeah. So it's still the creator that does the healing, but we are making the call. We are making the facilitation and the witnessing process for the healing. So I just got some questions asked. Why do we attract abuse and bullying, or don't we attract it? So everything in your reality, if I say if it's a pattern, you are attracting it. And if you keep attracting it, that means there is something that you are learning from it. You might have a belief system that keeps attracting it. Often it's also like, so kind of like how I see it is this. You might have an experience in early childhood which creates a trauma around abuse, right? You might have experienced abuse, and then this creates a trauma. How I see it in people's fields is almost like that trauma is like a pulsating energy imprint within your own energetic field. It has its own vibration, signature vibration. And that imprint stays with you. So even if you forget about the abuse or the trauma, whatever, you haven't resolved this. So this is like still a pulsating imprint within your field. And then that vibration will most likely keep attracting people and situations that resonate with that match with that. Not because that the universe is an asshole, but actually, and it may sometimes feel that way, but actually because it's coming in there so that it can help you in your awakening process. It can help you look at it, hang on, what is going on here? What is it that I'm learning? What is it I have to do something different? And then you can actually heal it. Once it's healed, that vibration will not be part of your psyche or your energy field any longer. And especially when it comes to cases like abuse or bullying, it kind of like also says to me something about boundaries, right? So that you need to kind of start looking into what are you allowing into your space. And, you know, like, who are you allowing into your space? You know, maybe if it's always a mother-in-law or a partner or someone that always keeps abusing you, it's kind of like a question to ask yourself, why are you allowing that in your space? Is that your concept of love? Or is your concept of, you know, I have to make sacrifices to be a good woman? That's a belief system. Or I have to sacrifice myself, or I have to take abuse in order to be loved. There are belief systems that make you tolerate those situations. So the question is, why are you tolerating it? And generally, always there is a belief system why you're tolerating it, why you're allowing yourself to remain stuck in that state. Maybe sometimes people stay in relationships because they think, well, it's all bad out there. You know, so the fear of not finding new love makes them sit in a relationship that's quite toxic or that's quite abusive. So then again, that fear is still a belief system. Yeah, there's not other love out there, or I'm going to be alone, I'm going to be lonely. And because they have a fear of being alone or being lonely, they might stay in a relationship that makes them really unhappy. So what we do in a healing session, when we remove these fears, we heal these other aspects, you suddenly become free in making choices that align with your desire rather than the choices that align with fear. So instead of making fear-based choices, we move into more empowering choices. We make choices that are like, you know what, I really don't, this doesn't resonate with me any longer. I don't want to be treated like this. Yeah. So bullying, you can tell a person, I do not accept being spoken to like that. You can walk away. You know, you can choose not to engage. You know, there is like a lot of stuff happening like on the internet or these days also. And, you know, we have to keep ourselves in check, right? Because sometimes we have a bit of an addiction to drama as well. That doesn't have to be just from you. Don't forget that you are carrying DNA of your ancestors. Our ancestors, our mothers, the mothers before that, maybe they loved a lot of drama. Like in a lot of our cultures, people love drama. Have you guys noticed? When the women get together, they're like, oh my God, my husband did this and he did that. The other is like, oh my God, my husband is worse than your husband. You have to, you know, or they're like, oh, and I'm sick in my back. The other one is sick in their, I don't know, in their head. The other one is sick there. Like everyone talks and complains the entire time. But this is allowing them to bond and connect. So we need to find out different ways of connecting and bonding with each other. So we are kind of the generation that is breaking the old patterns from our ancestors as well. And we kind of need to look at also, do I have an addiction to drama? Am I always creating drama? When I see people fighting, do I have this need to jump in and be like, hey, and you know, and just get meddled in and get involved with it? If you do, you need to start looking at yourself. Why am I getting involved? What is this addiction I have to drama? You know what I mean? So it's still our reality. And during a Theta Healing course, oh my God, in the basic course, you will have like the awakening of your life. You're going to be like, oh shoot, I created all of that? Huh. All right, can I create something better? And I'm like, yeah, of course. Let's do the work. So I have a question here. Is Theta Healing related to hypnosis? No. Hypnosis and Theta Healing both utilize the Theta brainwave. So we do both go into like a more calmer state. The Theta brainwave, like I said, is like a dream, kind of like a dream-like state, but you're still very conscious. However, hypnosis has techniques that you have agreements at the start of a session, what you want to work on and what suggestions you can give the person during the hypnosis. Whereas Theta Healing is very intuitive. Theta Healing is a state of channeling. So from hypnosis, we don't channel. You know, in hypnosis, there is a technique, it's more clinical. and you give like suggestions to the person, which is also very beneficial. You know, hypnosis is also a very beautiful modality. And, you know, I'm an avid student of it too. Theta healing, however, has a more spiritual side it covers. So you're connecting to a source energy, you go into a trance state, and then as a practitioner, you go into a trance state as well as your client. And then I start hearing about the client, father abandoned her when she was 4 years old, trust issues. You know what I mean? I start getting information. And then I might not even know the person. So it's a channeling state. Then I do something called muscle testing, which you will learn in the basic course, to find out if she has belief systems that are blocking the progress in any of her areas, or whatever she wants to work on, whatever he wants to work on. How to energy test someone, Srimanti, you will learn that in the basic course. So energy testing, I'm so happy you know about energy testing. That's awesome. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about what energy testing is, because I talk about belief systems, right? Now, the question is, Handan, well, how do you know whether someone has a belief system or not, right? Because think about it. Do you know how many people have come to me that have money issues? And then if I ask them, how do you feel about money? They say, I feel amazing about money. I love money. Then you will think, wow, this person has positive belief systems about money, yet they are struggling financially. Does that make sense to you? No. On a conscious level, you like money, but your conscious mind is only about 8 to 12% of your entire functioning. The rest, 90% or more, is the subconscious mind. Subconscious or the unconscious mind means the part of your mind that you are not aware of. So you are only aware of the part of your mind that you think loves money, but there is a part of you that you are completely unaware of. And that part, the larger part, might actually not have great feelings about money. Maybe when you were growing up, you were always missing your dad because he was always working, and your mom was crying. And you're like, Mom, where is my dad? Why is he never home? Your mom was like, well, he needs to work. So in your mind, you're like, work to make money is taking my dad away. So subconsciously, you could be programmed with, money takes the people I love away from me. Do you think you're going to have a positive feeling about money? Not on a subconscious level, and the subconscious is what counts mostly. So then that can be a block for you creating and attracting more money. Do you know, even if someone with negative belief systems about money starts making money, have you guys noticed what happens to them? They generally sabotage it. They generally start spending it like crazy. They start spending it on silly things. It immediately leaves. Or they sabotage, or it happens same thing with love, right? Somebody goes into a relationship, and if they don't feel worthy of that person, or have negative belief systems about love, they might sabotage the relationship. They might sabotage the work. They might sabotage their finances. Yeah. And we are only sabotaging not because we hate ourselves generally. We sabotage because the contradicting experience, I'm saying contradicting because it's contradicting to our belief systems, is so overwhelming for your nervous system that it can kind of like give you like a discomfort or anxiety that you almost need to break this or remove this or move away from it and go back to safety, even if safety is what is familiar. And what is familiar does not mean that it's always the good thing for you. You know, the familiar could be, you know, being in a toxic relationship. So you might actually be with someone amazing, in a relationship with someone amazing, and you might constantly want to sabotage it because being with that person is actually what they represent, and the love you get to experience through them is actually quite contradicting to your belief system. So then your nervous system it's overwhelming for it. So it needs to kind of remove this or move away from it in order to feel safe. And the nervous system always just wants to feel safe. And it feels safe by going back into that which is familiar. And we can change that. That's the good news. We can change in a healing session and during a Theta Healing course. So why I recommend the course for you is because it's super empowering to learn a technique that allows you to change your own belief systems and to change the belief systems in the people around you and in your friends. And maybe one day you want to actually, you know, become a Theta Healing instructor, or maybe one day you want to become a practitioner and create your own business and become a healer yourself. You know, maybe you want to become a life coach or a coach. You want to go into the direction of wellness and health. Maybe deep down you always felt a calling for that stuff. So we cover all of that. So I have a question. Why do some of us get betrayed by people even though we never betray anyone? Because you may be betraying yourself. Let that sink in. Anytime you're saying yes to someone while you actually want to say no, but you're like, oh, I just want to help that person, or maybe it's better, otherwise they're going to get upset with me, or they're going to create drama, or they're going to create conflict. I really don't feel like conflict, so I'm just going to give her or give him what he wants. You're betraying yourself. That energy of self-betrayal will attract people into your life that betray you also. So, and of course there could be a karmic reason for that too. But often, from one of my experience, if you have too much people-pleasing behavior, you might have to check yourself and seeing why you are abandoning your own needs, why you are betraying yourself in order to please others. When you sent healing to your mom, did you witness it? Yes, like you go into like a trance state, and in that trance state, like I actually get images. I get images about what's going on, so I have to witness it. So she was in another country, so I didn't witness it physically. I witnessed it in my mind's eye, kind of like a visualization. And then when I saw her, both her eyes are seeing. How long the new beliefs can remain and improve our lives? How could we protect our new beliefs from a new sudden trauma, shocking accidents in the future? Good question. You see, when you have the new belief, it's most likely that you start attracting situations that match the new belief. Also, your choices will be quite different, right? So if you feel like your belief system is, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not attractive enough, I'm not rich enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not this enough, right? The choices that you are making, if you don't feel like you're good enough, you probably go for a job that pays a lot less. And you're like, no, because that's what they will pay me. You will go for a relationship with someone that you might not be so in love with, but you know what? Oh, you know, this is what is available. I'll go for that. So you end up settling a lot more. But if you feel like I'm good enough, you feel confident in your capabilities, I'm smart enough, anything that I put my mind to, I can make it work. You see, like you're full of conviction, you're full of self-belief. You know, the jobs that you go for will be of a higher pay grade that you apply for. You will feel like you deserve more income. You will feel like you deserve a better treatment. The partner you will select will be of a different caliber. So your choices start aligning with how you see yourself and feel about yourself. And of course, accidents can always happen, trauma can always happen, you know. But because your consciousness is at a different level, you even perceive that trauma from a different level, right? So after I did my courses, one day a person, like a laborer, you know, laborers that are actually washing the glasses, he fell from like super high right in front of my feet. And that's after I had a premonition. I had a premonition, like I was going to a yoga class. One day I was like walking to a yoga class, and as I was walking, I looked at this building. I saw 3 guys that were washing the glasses high up. I just looked at it, and I just saw in my mind's eye, I got like his flash of the guy on the left falling onto the ground. And I just put my head away, and I thought to myself, oh my God, Handan, you think the worst things. And I kept walking, and I went to my yoga class, which went for 1.5 hours. After that, I went to the supermarket next door. I got credit. This was in Business Bay. It was a few years ago. I got credit, and I was putting my credit in my phone, and as I was walking back to my car, I hear, ah, and this guy falls 1 meter in front of me onto the pavement. And I just thought, oh my God, like, we checked his pulse. I was the one that called the ambulance. Ambulance came, he was dead, you know, and then my thoughts are, was I meant to warn him? Why am I shown this vision, premonition of the guy falling down onto the ground and dying, you know, and then from all the times that he could have fell down onto the ground and died, why did he have to fall down the moment that I'm walking past, right? It happened right in front of me. So that's a trauma, that's an accident. And then the worst thing is you start blaming yourself. You're like, oh shit, did I manifest this? Did I create this? But of course not. Everyone's time is, the soul decides when it comes and when it goes. But because I have a higher perspective on life and death after doing these courses, I understood I could actually connect to his spirit. And I understood that it was, he actually wanted to leave too. He said to me, because you can connect to the spirit, you learn that in the advanced course, you actually learn how to connect to someone's spirit. You can help a spirit go into the light as well, help them to, you know, pass to the light. And then, you know, when I was telling him, go back into your body, you know, and then he was like, showing me images that his family members had already passed, and he was happy to go to the light. So, but you see, your perspective changes and you learn how to heal yourself. Obviously, then I knew how to remove the trauma from my body and to reprogram my belief systems, because I had a belief system that in order to trust my intuition, I had to be traumatized. So I was constantly attracting these type of situations of people having accidents on the road, people having, people dying, because I was kept getting premonitions. And then I realized that was my higher self kind of wanting to show me, you need to trust your intuition because you keep doubting it. So once I reprogrammed it and I started trusting my intuition, I witnessed and became part of less and less traumatizing experiences. Someone asked the question, how do you calm the nervous system? Well, that is a healing process in itself. Look, there are quick things we can do, like you can do meditation, you can do breath work, but when you go through a Theta Healing course, you realize that it is specific situations that trigger you, right? When you get triggered, it's like anxiety can come up, anger, annoyance, irritability. That is coming up for a reason. So you need to look at these triggers and then you need to do a healing session on it. So what we do with every healing session, you have to imagine you got red buttons that have been formed throughout your life. And some people are really good at pushing the red button and then getting this reaction out of you, right? So with healing sessions, what we are doing is we're kind of like healing those red buttons. As we remove these red buttons, naturally you start becoming more stable in your mood, you start becoming more stable throughout your day, and your nervous system starts calming out. But the nervous system becomes calm by feeling safe, generally. So you need to kind of start looking at the things that are making you feel unsafe. And that needs reprogramming most of the time. And you learn that in the Theta Healing Basic course. Any other questions? Yeah. All right. So I'm giving the Theta Healing course 25th to 27th of this month. It's a 3-day course. We're starting at 10 a.m. It will most likely go until 6 or 7 p.m. It's an intense course. You learn so much. You will learn many different techniques of how to channel, how to do energy healing, sending healing to a person. You will learn how to reprogram belief systems. You will learn how to cut energetic cords, soul fragment exchange. It's like a 3-day full-on awakening course, and I highly recommend it. It's life-changing. Like, your life will never be the same again. Can't be, because how you see things, how you feel about things will completely shift. I will now do a meditation for you. It's a Theta Healing meditation. And I will also give you some downloads. So that's also one of the things that we cover in the basic course, downloads. Downloads are kind of like these energetic downloads that we bring in to teach the body what a feeling feels like. You know, like if you don't know what abundance feels like, it'd be very difficult for you to create or attract abundance, because that's the universal principle, is you have to become something to attract it. You cannot, from a place of lack, you only attract lack. So from a place of it's never enough, I don't have enough, I'm short on this, I'm short on that, you keep continually feeling short on things. There is no way you're going to feel rich, create richness in experience. No way. No, just doesn't happen that way. You want love, you have to have to you become love, right? You want abundance or wealth, you start feeling wealthy, you start feeling more abundant, and then it starts finding you, you start finding it, it starts resonating with you, you start connecting to that experience. So I might give you some downloads as well. All right, are you guys ready? Now, close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And release. Take another deep, slow breath in. And release. Center yourself in your heart. And just for a moment, feel what it feels like to be inside of your heart. I want you to take your consciousness into the center of the earth. Imagine taking your awareness all the way into the center of the earth and gather up this beautiful loving energy from Mother Earth and pull this energy upwards towards your feet. And allow that energy to circle around your feet. And know that whichever body part this energy touches, it will relax it even further. Now the energy is rising over your ankles. Imagine it rising over your legs. Imagine this energy going through your spine, and if you know where the chakras are, allow that energy to go through the chakras, opening them up. And allow it to come out of your crown, out of the top of your head, and form into a big, beautiful ball of light. And see yourself in this ball of light and notice the color of the ball. And now we're going to be traveling upwards inside of this ball. Start going up, up, up. Imagine leaving the room that you're in. Keep rising up higher and higher. And imagine going through the clouds. Imagine now going through the atmosphere of the earth. And now go into space. You'll see the sun, the moon, the stars. Keep rising up higher and higher. And then you'll go through layers and layers of light. Layers and layers of light. You might go through some darker lights, and then some lighter lights. And then you'll go through a beautiful golden light, golden like the sun. Keep going up, up, up. And then you'll go through a thick jelly-like substance. When you've arrived at the jelly-like place, your ball will dissolve, and in the distance you will see a pearly iridescent white light. Go towards this bright white light. A door will appear in front of it. Open the door and go through it. Go deeper and deeper inside of this white light. The deeper you go, the more relaxed you feel. The more relaxed you feel, the deeper you go. And then say within yourself, I am never separate. I am part of all that is. I am never separate. I am part of all that is. And atomize, burst into a billion pieces until you become one with this light. And I will give you some downloads now. And if you want to receive the download, just say yes, speaking out loud to yourself. So would you like to know what it feels like to be intuitive? And that you know how to be intuitive? And that you are ready to feel intuitive? And that you trust that your intuition is completely and can guide you to make the choices that are for your highest and best. And would you also like to know what it feels like to recognize the choices that are for your highest and best? And can we teach you that it's possible to live a life free of suffering? That you can have things that come easily, and that it's possible to live a life that is easier, effortless, with joy, fun, playful. And can we teach you the Creator's definition of happiness? And that you know it is possible to be happy, and that it's possible to be happy with yourself, with who you are, and how far you've come. And would you like to know what it feels like to take this sense of pride and joy and contentment of who you are with you to the days coming, and maybe hopefully to the weeks coming and the years coming? Now I will download this across time and space, across all realities and dimensions, in your highest and best and for your highest and best, and through every single cell of your auric and physical being. Actually, and can we also teach you that you are worth it to invest into yourself and to invest into your own growth? And can we teach you that it's a joyful experience to grow and to evolve and to improve and to become better and to become the better and best version of yourself? And that you can gain pleasure from the experience of evolution. Can we teach you what that feels like? And can we also teach you what it feels like to connect? That it is safe for you to connect, and that you can experience joy in connecting with others from a higher state. That you can connect with people without envy, without the jealousy, without comparison of what they have and what you lack, or what you have and what they lack. Rather allowing each person to walk their own path, and you just staying focused on your own and just enjoying your own path and recognizing how it's flourishing into beautiful experiences and more beauty for yourself. And so that you can touch other people's lives by leading through example, simply by inspiring them, by being the better and best version of yourself. Can we teach you this across time and space and across all realities and dimensions, in your highest and best and for your highest and best? Now I want you to visualize something you would like to manifest. So think about something you would like to manifest. And don't be shy. Nobody is there to judge you. And definitely the Creator, the Divine, does not judge you at all. Go wild, I would say. What would you, if you truly, truly were connected to your heart's desire and you were shameless about it, what would you truly want? I want you to visualize it. And just pack it up, adorn it, decorate it. How would it look? How would it feel? I want you to walk into that image and just feel what it would feel like to walk into that scenario, to walk into that place or person. And just affirm to yourself, I can have this. I can be this. I already am. Now I want you to imagine from this seventh plane where we are, that white place, that white light place. Imagine you are a giant, and with a giant arm, you are coming to your current life. So I want you to visualize your life, your current life, in a ball, in like a glass ball. And I want you from that light place, that giant arm, to go into that glass ball that represents your current life. And I want you to stir it. Stir it with that new energy. And as you are stirring it, I want you to visualize and see how your current life is shifting and changing into all the things you just visualized earlier in your manifestation. Let's bring in the manifesting reality into your current reality. And then see that it's possible. You don't need to know how or when. Just know that it's possible and that you are deserving and that you can have this or be this. And then imagine yourself walking into your current reality and having all of those feelings all over again. And I want you to hold this vibration for a little longer. Just feel in your body what it feels like to have it, to be it. And how you would share that joy with others, and maybe not, that's up to you. And then take a deep breath in and then say in your own mind, Creator of all that is, it is commanded that I have this in my life right now. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Show me. And then witness the process of having it, being it. And then take a deep breath in. And then when you're ready, you can open up your eyes. Now, hopefully you guys are all back. I will be closing the session. I just have one question. What would you say is, you're welcome, Nita, is the benefit of this modality versus other modalities? Look, I'm really not here to diss other modalities or, compare whatever. I just think we are always attracted to the modality that we are going to resonate with most. And at different times in our life, we will resonate with different modalities also. And that would not be to discredit the other one. It's just like a different need, right? The Theta Healing, I'll tell from my personal experience, like I've been doing personal development maybe like 20 years. And since I was actually quite young, I started with psychology. I studied hypnosis, I studied NLP, EFT, reconnective healing, anything esoteric, anything that was healing based, that was spiritual. I love to get into all of that stuff. But when I found Theta Healing, what happened is, it's like, it felt everything that I was searching and that I was studying for all of those years within Theta Healing. It's kind of like, Theta Healing is like an umbrella, and I found all the things I was studying within it. For me, it made everything, it became complete. It kind of brought everything together. So there are aspects of shamanism in Theta Healing. There are aspects of energy healing in Theta Healing. There is aspects of NLP or, like belief system reprogramming, elements of hypnosis, everything from every modality within Theta Healing. It's kind of like a package. And to me, it's very complete. It's very gentle. You generally don't have crashes afterwards, because sometimes there are certain modalities that you do a healing the next day or the day after, you could start having like a detox, like people start feeling worse, which can be part of the process. But generally with Theta Healing, you don't really have that. It's quite gentle yet super effective, super effective. One of the things I love most about Theta Healing, and my clients can tell you that, if you look at some of my testimonials, it's like we come for a session, their reality changes the next day. You know what I mean? I've had clients, they came for a session and they struggled finding a job for 3 months. We did one session. My client left to go to his car, and within 15 minutes, he came back. He was like, I needed to just show you this because this is so crazy. He had 3 invitations on LinkedIn inviting him for an interview. And that was right after the healing session, whereas before he wasn't getting any interviews. That is how effective Theta Healing sessions can be. or I had a student in class one day in the manifesting and abundance class that I'm actually giving next weekend. He was like, Handan, I don't know what to work on. I said, anything. What is blocking your abundance? He said, all of my clients, I have clients, okay, he said, I have a client that's not paying me on time. I have clients that just take like months before they pay me. I said, do a session on that. He did a digging session on himself. And as we were progressing in class, 10 minutes later, he got a message. You know how like your bank sends a message of money coming in? He's like, Handan, you're not going to believe this. He shows me the client that hadn't paid him for 6 months, paid him in the class about 7 to 10 minutes after he finished his session. That's what I mean. Like, it's so effective. I've had people had court cases. They do a session, the court case resolves after 10 years. It's insane. Like, it's one of the most empowering tools if you know how to use it, that is. You know, because many people can do many courses and still not utilize it or practice it. So it's still, that's why I say it depends on you, your practice, your dedication, your commitment. And if you become a really good theta healer, if you know how to do a proper session, you can change realities in an instant. Yeah, super powerful. Yes, Elizabeth, so is it possible that the people who owe me money will pay me? Yes, yes, yes. All right. So nice to have you. Thank you for joining. And it was lovely having you. Thank you for sharing space with me. I am totally honored with your presence. And for those who are streaming also. And hopefully I will see you in the upcoming course. And I wish you all a wonderful evening. Take care. Bye.